On today's show, we'll answer the question, how dangerous is living in the desert?
Well, when it comes to the dangers involved in living in the desert, you have to remember that I haven't owned a car for about 10 years. I've only ridden motorcycles.
Wait, what does that have to do with the dangers of building a house here?
Because you got to be a little crazy to be driving motorcycles in LA for 10 years.
Oh, so you like it dangerous is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. There are seriously a lot of dangers about living in the desert. I think one of the problems with our modern day society is that we become a little bit too complacent and we kind of forget about some of the dangers of living out in the wilderness. Because most people think there is no wilderness.
Right. Everything's been colonized.
Yeah, but that's not true, not at all. You have to remember that really the only difference between pristine desert land 100 years ago and today is the internal combustion engine. We can leave a lot easier than they used to back then, but all the dangers of heat exhaustion and tarantulas and rattlesnakes and bark scorpions.
Okay, all right, that's good, that's enough.
They're still out here, and they're still just as bad. There are still coyotes, you know? I personally don't really want to encounter a pack of coyotes when I'm out by myself, walking around my property late at night. I really don't want to...
Me neither. Nope, definitely not.
I don't want to encounter a mountain lion. That would not be good. There are also mountain lions out here. Not a lot, but, some.
I'm going to be in the car.
All right. Believe me, I'm not trying to boast a false bravado either. I'll admit, living out here is scary. I'm definitely nervous and a tad concerned about things like burglary and rattlesnakes and scorpions and tarantula wasps and tarantulas. I don't care how big and bad and tough you are. Nobody wants to get bit by a rattlesnake. No. The Mojave Green, which is native to this region, is one of the deadliest rattlers in the world. They're pit vipers with the ability to sense temperature changes so minute they can accurately strike even when they are totally blind and anasomatic.
Anasomatic means no sense of smell.
Yeah. Did you know that snake venom slowly congeals your blood into the consistency of like tapioca pudding? Oh. Yeah, it's not a quick or painless way to go. Well, hey, and let's not forget, I'm only a mile from a fault line. And there are earthquakes, even out here in the high desert. Plus, you can die from a respiratory infection called valley fever that gets kicked up from the dust in the ground. Roads get flooded in rains, bridges ice over in the winter, sand drifts collect across the streets, rattlesnakes traverse the asphalt. Now, those things might not sound like a big deal, but I'm a motorcyclist. All of those things become extremely dangerous travel conditions for someone on a motorcycle. This landscape even killed a werewolf, you know.
Killed a werewolf? What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Back in 2014, a British actor who played a werewolf in the Harry Potter movies, Dave Legeno, died, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. If it's not Dave Legeno, I apologize. But Dave Legeno died of heat stroke while hiking in Death Valley, which is part of the Mojave Desert. Now, he was only 50 years old, and he was in fantastic shape. He was a boxer and a mixed martial artist.
God, that's so sad.
Yeah, it's tragic when people die so young. But the Mojave doesn't mess around. It's a very dangerous and deadly place.
So why on earth do you want to live here?
I don't know. I can't explain it. I mean, the moment I got within 5 miles of Luthorville, I knew that I was home. I can't put it into words. I mean, this is a feeling like I've never had before, a visceral connection to the landscape. Honestly, most of the desert, it all looks the same, and it's still very intimidating. But not so for this area. You know, this area feels like home. When you're out here, you realize that despite the sprinkling of roads and buildings and power lines, this land has been left mostly untouched by humanity for millions of years. No one dares to live here. I used to think the land was home to nothing but tumbleweeds and shallow graves, but in truth, there is a great beauty out here, and far more life than most people realize.
Luthorville is an educational series inspiring kids and adults to become excited about innovations in science and technology by documenting the design and construction of a Mojave Desert homestead called Galatea Meridian. Witness the crazy story of how Eric Muss-Barnes, an unemployed computer geek and struggling novelist, risks homelessness by spending most of his life savings to build an off-grid dream house in the middle of nowhere. Having purchased vast acres of the Old West, can Eric find a stable job and create his home before his money runs out? Take a journey where fortitude and a pioneering spirit continue to forge the American dream on the romantic landscape of the American frontier.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Luthorville.
Make sure to subscribe and share this video with your friends.
And remember, if your ambitions don't scare you,
They're not big enough.